something. I don't know what it is, but there's something that her whole team like is on the same page as her. Like, and for example, like Dom, for example, she just went double, and like now she's ready to start looking at a triple chart, and I'm like, well, don't go too fast, because I don't want you to lose it. But like at the same time, there are teams out here who are going from ruby to triple. So like, what is it that I can do to like? I want her to be a triple diamond. And she's like, how do I don't know. I know my question, but that's like kind of my question, which isn't a question.
Stay away from her. I mean, let her roar.
Yeah.
The thing that we do as uplines is there's something within us that is a little controlling, you know, and it's an ego based. We're going to be really real, right? Yeah. So the moment that you start getting tight like that and controlling, it is just a flare up of, this is my team. Could they possibly pass me? I mean, this is subconscious. We don't know we're doing this. It's just like raising that child up, and that child then starts to have different types of conversations with you. Now, also, they want to be the leader. You know, suddenly they're speaking out more, and so what we want is to allow that to happen. Stay connected. Stay very connected, because together you can achieve more. But also honor that in them, because you can't be all for everyone. So let's give an example. Had I not had layered leadership, I would have to be everywhere all at the same time. This company wouldn't have run. The markings of a great leader is when you don't need to be there anymore. I mean, that's the markings of a great leader. I would feel so blessed with that and say, I am here when you need me. I don't believe you need a different Facebook page. I think you stay in that group together, because the last thing you want to do is be spending time in there trying to train a new team to do the same thing you're already doing. You want to keep that together, because you want to spend your time recruiting. That's what you want to spend your time recruiting. You should be thinking next promotion. That's what you should be thinking. So let's talk about real beach money. And this is one thing that I really had to learn. Even though they don't seem to do it as well, they need to do it. Okay? For instance, when we were first growing a team, we had to do meetings. That's all there was. Get in the living rooms. And I still believe in that format. Get in the hotel. So if I was always the one up front doing the presentation, no one thought that they could do it. You know, she's perfect at her presentation. How could I possibly follow that? So what I learned very early on is I need new people up here all the time. All the time. So in the beginning, you're up front leading your team. You're it. You're the only one. Then what you want to do is work your way to the side. You notice how Kim stood up here, right here, little hovering, making sure that it's moving right. So Kim's goal would be to eventually move herself off so that she could go to another city and build this somewhere else. You know, not just here, or be here once every 6 months, but be at a different city building. So then you're moving to the side of the room. New people are coming from the back, moving up, and then on here, and then to the side. You go all the way, and then you're out the door, and you're on the beach. That's your goal, is to be out the door and on the beach. And all the new ones are coming up, new ones are coming up, new ones are coming up. It's like my dad would always say, you'll be ready for your children to leave. I said, but Dad, they're 3. He said, you'll be ready. Boy, you're ready. You're ready. At 18, you're like, bye. You know, go to college or get out. I mean, it's your choice. So, same thing with this. So you want to honor that. It's having very solid conversations. Right now, you're at a leadership position. How much would you like me to be involved in your team? You know, ask them. Don't just assume. They might say, oh, I'm not ready for you to lead my team. You know, let's wait till I get to triple or something like that. Now, the goal of each of you, though, is to stay in that group, but keep sponsoring. Here's the biggest mistake I see people doing, is start to become managers. And when you become a manager and you stop building new, then that's when it gets tiring, old, and stale. Then you become a boss, and that's the last thing that you want. That's a great leadership question, and it's one that we all have to look at. But the biggest thing that I see is that ego gets in there and it flares up, and you know, when people say my team, my team, my team, that tells me there needs to be some growth, because it's not just your team. There are layers in there where they're building. Even that Ruby has a team. You know, you don't want to put too much responsibility on a Ruby. I had an executive tell me one time she was exhausted from her team. She was being very honest, and I said, you're an executive. What could you possibly be doing to be exhausted? Yeah.
Oh no, that was good.
Yeah, that was the best line I think I've heard all of 2018. Yeah. How could you be tired? All right, who else?
I have some questions.
Okay.
How do I lead a team where the entire team is way older than me?
You decide that that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. You know, that if you're feeling less than, then there's something within you that is lacking the confidence that you should have. If they're on your team, that means you have been given that responsibility because you have deserved it. Okay, so you want to take ownership of that and lead them constructively. You know, you're not their daddy. You're not their son either. You're their business partner. And there's a lot of young business owners today that are very sharp, that are teaching me a lot. So respect yourself, and the respect will be given. So I think age today is irrelevant. I really do, because we've got 18-year-olds proving us wrong, don't we? That have tremendous leadership skills. So you're going to have the youth come in your organization too, and the roles will then be reversed. So I would just honor their age and their wisdom. You know, asking them questions if they've been in the industry for a while is really smart. Letting them lead a call. You know, honoring their wisdom of being a part of the industry for so long, and giving them that spotlight if they deserve it. You know, if they deserve it. So I don't look at, I just look at age differently. I look at it as, I'm learning from you, I don't care what age you are. And hopefully I can teach you a thing or two. Because there's skills that you have that they don't. And so I think you can share in those skills. Yeah.
So how do I connect to them?
Well, you're not going to be their age, obviously. You're going to connect through the business. You know, you're going to connect there. I mean, I don't go and hang out with 20-year-olds and act like one. Okay? It's like my daughter says, Mom, you can stay up later and get up earlier than the rest of us. Yes, I can. I just have that kind of energy.
I think what he means is, so he doesn't have children.
Right.
He doesn't have a wife. He doesn't have, so in his, so a single person's response to something, because he's like, what do you mean, get over it? Like, what are you talking about? But he has now taken in mind that this woman has 2 kids, and she has a husband, and she has a kid. What do you mean you missed the train last night? It's kind of like, is that what you mean? Right.
Yes.
When someone says,
You need to
I
keep
have
somebody's
my
grandchildren. I'll send my 2 up. 5 days. Because I tell you what happened to me. I have a newfound respect for mothers right now. Just keeping them for 2 days. And we had their nanny come in too. I'm tired. I mean, you don't sleep good because you're listening for them. They want, even though the nanny's there, they wanted us, which we gave them full on attention. We purposely did that for the week, to give them grace. Give them grace. How can I help you understand the importance of listening to this? Because it is important. And I just want the best for you. I understand that you have the family. There's a lot of single moms out there that we have to really understand what they're going through. So I say give them grace and be a great listener. That doesn't mean you let them escape it. There's a difference. This is important, and I just want to convey the importance of this, that you listen to this. So tell me when you think that will be possible, instead of you telling them, you need to listen to this in the next 24 hours. Well, all of us are going to go, right. Because no one likes to be told that. So again, it's just talking to them and saying, okay, you've got 3 kids. What's your schedule like? How many hours can you put in the business? And hold them accountable to that, because then that conversation is taking place. Yeah. And be thankful you're at that position right now, and you can build like crazy. Yeah. Because again, guess what? I'm looking at you, and I'm expecting you to make record time to ambassador, since you don't have any kids or wife. I when I first got into this industry, I thought, why do people sign up and not do anything? Daggone it, we paid money. And I told my kids, I said, look, if we're paying money for this sport or this activity, you're in it until that year is up. And so you better make sure you really like it. And they learned a valuable lesson from that. No, we paid, you're in that football program for a year, trying to get out. No way. That's a valuable lesson. So I look at people like that. I hold them accountable. You paid money, you made a commitment. Where the heck are you?
Yeah, right.
And there's nothing wrong with asking people that question. This girl said to me, this distributor, well, I need you to push me. Oh, right, you ready? I'll push you really hard. You're saying that's what you want. Well, after 2 days, she screamed, no, I don't want to be pushed. Because I'm like, did you do this? Did you do that? How do you have your 4 loyals? These are things that we expect because I did it. So I don't expect anything I haven't done. So I again, it goes back to having those open, candid conversations with people and saying, this is what you said you wanted, why can't I find you? Things like that. Okay, what else?
She's going to say the Spanish, I'm going to say.
Okay.
Ha habido una experiencia con las personas americanas por el proyecto de 18 años que vivo en Estados Unidos. Sí, ha habido. I can translate it.
Okay.
Ha habido. No.
You would say it loud enough.
No, es que yo le quiero preguntar, hablar de esto para que
Okay.
Ah.
She said that there has been for like American people there's a trajectory of 18 years with the company.
¿Cómo ha sido la experiencia ahora con el pueblo latinoamericano?
How has it been with the Spanish population?
¿Y qué piensa ella acerca de qué mentalidad podemos generar cambio para que el pueblo latino crezca?
How has it been with the Spanish community, and what type of mentality do you think Spanish people can develop so we see like more Spanish people joining and seeing the vision? I think that, I don't know, like that's what she's saying.
Well, you're no different than we are. It's people actually doing it, like
Based
you.
on your experience.
Yeah. My experience is Margarita has been a godsend. That's my experience. So we're thankful for her. I do know this. Other companies in our industry that tapped into this market, your market, have exploded. Exploded. So what did it take? It took a couple people that actually did it. You know, a couple people that, no matter how, if you don't have the right tool that you think you need right now, if you don't have the skills that you think that you need right now, it doesn't matter, you just go do it. People want to see that you've done it. I don't care what market that is. That's our market, the same way. We're all the same. When it comes right down to it, we're all the same. So you just have to do it. And they'll come. Because when you think about your market, a lot can't speak English, so they buy from each other. You know, that's perfect. And you're already proving that you're making money. Yeah. So just do it. And I say we all talk to the Latino market, all of us. I mean, we don't have to know the language. We find someone that does, and we bring them on board because there's a company, Herbalife. Are you familiar with Herbalife? Yes, big in your community. They were nothing until the Latino market came in, and they exploded. If you look at their top leadership, it's Latinos. So we can have that here, and it works too. Just doing it. Yeah.
How do you deal with if you continuously try to reach out to like a specific distributor or even more than one, and they are just, no matter what, so negative, and sometimes it drips onto the rest of your team?
That's a good question.
Why do you keep reaching out? I mean, are you like torture?
Like, do I just let it go?
You know, that happens. And so I don't allow that in my life. I just don't. So I cut it real quick. I go, okay, they come in, are they coming directly to you? Or they're coming into the team
sometimes
page?
they'll be in like a chat and it's negative, and I have to remind everybody like to keep it very positive.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't work well, does it?
No.
No. And then they really rear up and come in there because they're defensive. They're unhappy, right? They're unhappy.
Yeah.
So they're being judgmental, and they're being, it's got to be something else wrong because it can't possibly be me. That's what they're thinking. Do you want to be a psychologist?
No.
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 I don't either. No. So what I do is behind the scenes, behind the chat, you reach out.
Okay.
Okay? Because if you do it in front, they are going to get defensive. They're going to come hard after you. Okay? If you ever read How to Win Friends and Influence People, I'll never forget this. It was one of the first books I ever read on self-development. And they asked Al Capone why he shot all those people. You know, he's a gangster. He said, well, they talked about me. So, in other words, I got defensive. So, someone like that can't wait for you to come in there. They're looking for it. So, I go behind the scenes and I ask them, are you open for some coaching? I ask permission. And they will be, because they want to get it. They want the attention, and they'd like to get into it with you. So they'll say yes. They might not know what it is, and so then I ask them, I get on a phone call with them, or Zoom, because if you can, you want to see their face, like FaceTime, you really want to connect. There's just hurt in there, a lot of hurt. And so you want to nip it really quick, because they can ruin a team. They can try to ruin a team. I don't let them ruin a team. So I ask, are you, and so they usually go yes, say, okay, can I just point out some of this verbiage? Because I know that you wouldn't want people to get hurt. Okay? And then they go, well, yeah, I don't want people to get hurt. Well, what are they going to say? Yeah, I want to hurt people? So they'll usually go, yeah. I say, well, you know, what did you mean by this? Because to them, that could be everyday language.
Right.
That could just be, I just made a remark.
It's Jersey.
And that's just the way I am. I'm bitchy. You know, they carry that remarkably proud. They are very smart and very egotistical. And I had this with an Ambassador Diamond, and there was no way that I could get through to her. I tried, and I tried, and I tried, but she was just going to come at me. And finally I said, there's no reason to continue the conversation. We're just not getting anywhere, and I'm not going to put any more energy into this. And then 2 months later, she comes back, apologizes, and says, you're right. I said, I know I'm right, but I don't need to be right.
Right.
You know, I want us to be better, not right. So if you come from a real great place and your heart is right and your mind is right and you're not going in there, oh, I got her, she's here again, I'm going to take her out. if you come from that great coaching place, you can perhaps survive. Eventually, they move on. If you don't give it any attention, that's what they're after. If you don't give it any more attention than that, and then you get them to understand that you don't allow that anywhere on the team, period. Because, you know, there's other people that are just waiting for that negativity so they don't have to work that day. Yeah, good question.
Real quick question, does anybody here wanna go to dinner after here? Raise your hand so I can count, I'm gonna try and get it. So raise your hand so I know. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Raise it 5, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm tired.
Okay, all right. So my question is, what are your top recommendations for personal development?
My podcast. The reason I like it is because it features you all. You know, they're already doing it. Everyone's looking around for something, but they're already doing it. They're doing what you want to do. So they're very open. The conversations that we have are very direct. I love Jim Rohn.
Yes.
I love Jim Rohn because Jim Rohn was in the industry training Herbalife for 30 years. So it is so directed towards network marketing, and I don't care if it's a 30-year-old piece of material, it's relevant today. I like people that actually did the business, do the business. Or there's a lot of trainers out there that never really did the business. So they became trainers because they couldn't do it. Yeah, and a lot of you don't know that, and I'm not going to call their name, but I would maybe later tonight after I have one of those hydrated margaritas. So I think, one thing leads to another. I love to listen to YouTube. I love Oprah. I love listening. She has a great Super Soul Sunday if you want some spirituality in there. But we've got, we just got, one book leads to another. It just depends. It's so hard to pinpoint for everybody one specific book. But there's a lot of good books. I love The Story Brand. The Story Brand is about branding your story. And it's a fairly new book. It's really good. That you want your people to be the hero, not yourself. Because if you make it all about you, then you become the villain. Yeah. So that goes back to your question. You want your people to be the hero, not you. So you're always doing series like Caught in the Adventure, things like that for them. You're always edifying them, which you are edified as well within that. Because the last thing you want is it's all about me, and then you do become the villain. So it's like he relates it. He says, I'm going to ruin every movie ever made because every movie has a storyline, and it's pretty much the same, whether it's a romantic movie or comedy. So he takes you through a lot of different movies, but that is a really, really good book, The Story Brand, and it's up to date. It's current. Yes.
Okay, so I am struggling with,
I was
I
struggling.
was struggling.
Mhm.
I guess as my role with my team, I have a couple of promotions that occurred, and I'm not seeking acknowledgement. I do want to change lives,
Mhm.
and other leaders were praised for people on my team. And it kind of hurt. And I just want to step my game up.
Yeah.
I want to put it, like, I want to contribute to changing the lives.
Everything that is in front of you is a mirror. So that they were just reflecting back to you what you truly feel about you. Okay? So this isn't anything about them. This is about you not feeling worthy of their leadership. Okay? So I've been there. Who else has been there? Yes. Okay. So this is like dating. Okay, it's the same thing. You don't do that well either. Yeah, well, at least you dated once and it worked out. Yeah, okay. That's a good thing.